Cancer. Welcome to a manifestation reading. This is going to cover the rest of 2022. I've done these before, so it's kind of fun just to mix things up. And I'll explain to you what the positions are, because this is a different spread than I normally do. But the other thing, too, is just to make it clear that manifestation is not just with tangible things like money or possessions, like something that you've been wanting materially. It could be a relationship. It could be a child or a new way of looking at life. Maybe you need an attitude adjustment or something. Maybe you want more bliss in your life or peace of mind. I'm going to pick a clarification card. I'm going to pick this bottom card because for some reason it's calling to me. And another card. Okay. Yeah. Because even the Five of Pentacles, that was a little bit, that still didn't leave me satisfied with an end position here. Okay, so what is it that you're looking to manifest? What are you maybe dealing with that you're wanting relief from? I don't think that you necessarily want to manifest this. Maybe this is something you're dealing with. Five of Wands can be conflict. And you can see that it's not just conflict. Well, I was going to say it's not just conflict between two people, but it can definitely be like if you're in a relationship with someone, even if there's other people in this picture, I still think it could be one-on-one. But sometimes even like, let's say it's a marital situation, there could be other people who are kind of creating or stoking the flames, like in-laws or something like that. But anyway, this is a card of conflict. And in the workplace, you could say it's competitiveness, maybe overly competitive environment. And so perhaps you would like to get rid of that, not invite it into your life. Now, there is a possibility for some of you, I don't know how many of you this would apply to, where you're looking for challenge. Because this is not necessarily a bad card. I don't say things are bad or good, but it's not necessarily a negative, we don't have to read it in a negative way. We can say that, or a challenging way, we can say that this is about bringing your A game to something. And maybe you have been kind of feeling bored or unchallenged in your work, and you would like to be around people who are at the top of their game so that that makes you more motivated to do the same. So I would say something like that as well, if it's a positive kind of an influence. Why do you want this? Well, this is the Two of Cups, so it makes me think that there is some kind of relationship angle to this, because this is a card of commitment and it can be a card of reunion. So, we just had that Mercury retrograde come and go in October. It went in October, early October. And sometimes you can hear back from somebody from your past. And if your marriage or committed partnership is on the rocks, hearing back from that other person can be very tempting. And it can show the contrast between what you're experiencing and a more harmonious situation. Of course, I didn't think of it this way, but the Five of Wands may be that you are wanting commitment, but you just can't get along with this person. So, for sure, that's a very problematic situation if you really want to kind of like, I was going to say seal the deal, so to speak, but you're not with the right person because you are constantly bickering. You don't seem to be on the same page, but you're like, I really want to be married, or I really want to start a family. Be very careful if you hold that view, because you do not want to bring children into the world with somebody that you have too much um, conflict with. Let's put it that way. So, two factors to consider. I just kind of gave you one, but two factors to consider in this decision. One of them is the Eight of Wands. This is kind of a fast moving energy, but sometimes it may speak to, are you going too fast with something? Maybe sometimes people get really weird, and I think cancers tend to be really weird about birthdays. So if you've celebrated a milestone, maybe 30 or 35, 40, and you're like, I haven't gotten married until now. I haven't had a kid. I haven't gotten married yet. I haven't had a child. And these are things I want. Now, a child is different because, especially for a woman, that's a biological thing, usually. Of course, you could adopt. But I'm just saying, like, sometimes that can feel like, oh my God, I still haven't experienced this. And so then you might be less selective. Also, the other thing to consider is represented by the Emperor, and this can be like getting your house in order. Maybe you're feeling a bit chaotic in your life, a bit kind of, there's something that has happened that has left you feeling kind of unmoored, if you know what that means, like you're unhinged. Well, I'm not saying you're crazy or anything, but just a little bit emotionally unhinged. And maybe, that full moon in July in Capricorn, maybe that was the end of a significant partnership for you. And now you are like, oh my gosh, I have to replace that relationship. Well, not so fast. Do you feel in control of your life? Because if you're reacting out of feeling out of control, that doesn't bode well for a future relationship. So please keep that in mind. Don't try to force anything because it might be disastrous, really. I mean, you might not be, have the best judgment. What is coming in? The Empress. This is a card of pregnancy, motherhood. Maybe if you're a male, this could be that you have impregnated someone, that they are pregnant, and there's a possibility that this person is not the right person for you. But you still may want that person in your life because you think that that's, you want to have that family life or whatever it is that you're looking for, and you have to have it with the right person. Also, the Emperor can be the father. So it might be that this came about prematurely. Everything is happening quite quickly, and that might be a little bit discombobulating in certain cases. I'm trying to remember which one was the first. I think this was this the outcome card? I can't remember. I mean, all three of them are outcome cards, but the outcome is a 10 of Wands, which can mean that you are shouldering some kind of a burden that might not be your own. So when I think of this in terms of relationships, I think of somebody who is trying too hard. Perhaps there's some kind of codependency going on where you're trying to make something work that is simply not feasible. And look, I just realized that this is the mother and this is the father. So we do have these parental cards. Maybe maybe in some cases this does have to do with, in-laws, and if you maybe you're trying to manifest a what do you call it? I wanted to say reunion, but getting back with a partner, and you feel like you were torn apart by other people around you, maybe family that's interfering in some way. But really, ultimately, I see the emperor and the empress as people that are in charge of their own lives. So, what we would call grown folk. It's not about other people controlling you. You have control, and you don't have to try so hard. So maybe that's part of the problem. Because, I did pick an additional card after this one, because this is the Five of Pentacles is poverty consciousness, lack consciousness. And what I see in, like, if this is a relationship issue, is that a person is way too dependent on other people, maybe, to provide them for what they want, for what they need, because you might settle for less, in other words, thinking that if you don't stay with someone, that you might never have anybody else come into your life and you'll die alone or something like that. Just those kind of really fear-based ideas that keep people stuck in unhappy situations. And so that can even be work related. Some of these cards could really be, like I said, this could be like an overly competitive environment. And this could be like, taking on work that doesn't belong to you, trying too hard, and feeling like you might even feel like the martyr. And there's nobody that can milk it like a Cancer when it comes to being a martyr. And I'm not even joking. I mean, I'm really serious, because you may really believe that you're being put upon. And if somebody points out to you, yeah, but you're tolerating this, you would have some reason why, of course, you have to do this, because this and that is happening. So I did pick an additional card, and I got the Ace of Cups, and this is the beginning of love. So the reason I think this is so important is that you may have been with somebody for the wrong reasons. You might have been with somebody to make you feel safe, to kind of like, especially if this person was rather controlling, almost like a substitute parent. On some level, even though it was irritating, it might have felt like, oh, wow, this person makes me feel like safe, like I don't have to even think about anything. I can just, go along with the program and everything's going to be okay. Or maybe they have some qualities that make you feel like things are safe. But it's time, when I think of the Empress, I think of the person who is creating, almost like the magician creating their reality. It's a very creative card, the Empress. But it's also ruled by Venus, so there's a sense of ease in one's life. This is like polar opposites. This is a card of going upstream. That's a term that Abraham Hicks uses, where you're just working. It seems like you have all this resistance as you're trying to make something happen. And it's always, really uncomfortable when people are in that position of trying to make something happen, because it feels laborious. It doesn't feel like it's flowing. So by all means, make sure that you are doing things that speak to your soul. Especially now, if you're feeling creative, don't expect to, like, yeah, actually, come to think of it, what am I thinking of? Your fifth house, which rules creativity, is Scorpio. So we are entering Scorpio season in October. We're going to have a solar eclipse here on October 25th. So really set your intentions for this in a very aware way of what you want to manifest as it pertains to creating a life for yourself that is full of ease and that is not a burden, that doesn't feel like it is, that you're lacking anything, where you feel like you can really take advantage of, the cups relate to the water signs like you. And you have like natural psychic abilities. The Ace of Cups could even be like a holistic business. So anyway, I'm going to go because they're going to kick me off here. If you'd like a private reading, the link is below. Take care. Bye.